Great. I'm starting recording now. This is week 4 live session for Color Theory. In attendance is Alicia, James, Katie, Lynn, and Lisa. And I think somebody else just joined us. We got a good group. All right, tonight we're going to talk about package design. This is what the week looks like for week 4. We got our live section today. You're going to do a package design based on your brand and do a mock-up, a 3D mock-up using Photoshop. And when that's all completed, you're going to put together your entire presentation, everything you've been working on for the last 3 weeks, into a Spark presentation. And that's all you got to do this week. So basically, you can catch up on your presentation template and get all the pieces and parts straightened out that you want to have and work on your package design. As always, I'll do live critique on Wednesday. On Thursday, you'll post what you have, whatever you've got so far, into the discussion, and then give some peer feedback. And then by Saturday, you should complete your package design, put it into your presentation, and then Sunday, complete your entire Spark presentation. Any questions about the schedule for the week and what's due? No? All right. So let's talk about color and packaging. So why do we put package design in color theory? Well, if you think about it, when you go to the store, when you walk in there, what's the first thing that hits you besides the smell? It's color, right? Color in packaging gives us all kinds of clues about flavors, about the type of product it is. Is it lemon lime soda or is it bug spray? Is it expensive? Is it inexpensive? So it really is a powerful tool when it comes to package design, color, the use of color. Packaging has become, over the last 100 years, a key marketing tool. And originally, you used to go to the store with your own bag and fill it up with stuff. And then when grocery stores were invented, people started going around looking on the shelves for what they wanted, and packaging became a sales tool. So it's a little bit of marketing and a little bit of branding, and that's why we like to do it in color theory. The trick is, and this is a fun trick, is to be part of your category and stand out from that category. So I say it's a little like picking out an outfit to go to the coolest party you've ever been invited to. And you want to look like yourself. You want to be an individual, very unique, but at the same time, you want to stand out and be your own self. You don't want to stand out too much is the key. If you think about packaging almost like a person, this is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So this is what people need to live. So first you need food and water and air. You need to feel safe. You need to feel you're part of a group. You need to feel like you're a valued member of that group. And then self-actualization is kind of where it all comes together. Well, as a package design, the first thing it has to do is contain the product. It needs to keep it safe from air, light, water, whatever. It needs to be part of a brand category: chocolate, cookies, coffee, tea. And then it needs to be the best one, the best coffee, the best tea, whatever, your brand, your unique selling proposition, whatever that is. And then I'd say self-actualization when somebody buys it, takes it home. So primarily a little bit of marketing and protecting the product. Another aspect of modern package design is about ecology and what they call the life cycle, like what's it made of, where does it come from, and all that. If we got into all that in depth, we'd have a 2-month class instead of a 1-month class. But just so you know, that's like a big part of package design now is kind of how it gets disposed of and what's its impact on the environment. So So be different, attract interest, and separate your brand from everybody else. Here's some chocolate bars. Do these all look like chocolate bars to you?
No.
No. That's Lisa, right? Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it's Lisa. All right, Lisa, which one doesn't look like a chocolate bar? Or ones?
So what do you guys think?
Well, first the shape is unfamiliar,
The shape
but
doesn't
then
look like...
the black and red doesn't look too chocolatey.
Yeah, black and red.
The shape doesn't look very much like the chocolate bars we're familiar. The black and red, the green.
Yeah,
the
this green, like what flavor is that? Yeah, so...
I mean, instinct tells me like avocado or broccoli.
Yeah. Like I think of wasabi or something. Dane, were you going to say something?
No, I'm sorry, just kind of joining in right now.
All right. So, this one kind of looks like chocolate because the color cues are chocolate. But this other one, this blue one, this green one, they're sort of out of the category. So it's like being too different. You don't want to be too different so that it looks different. Yeah, Curtis is chiming in. Light blue and dark brown. Yeah, not so hot. All right. All right, here's some chocolate bars. This one, do these look like chocolate bars? All of them?
They look like fancy chocolate bars, like Lady Godiva.
Yeah.
Fancy. Expensive.
Right. And the only way you're getting that clue is from the design of the packaging. So it's doing its job, I'd say. The logo is printed in raised ink that's like glossy brown, and it looks like chocolate. So that kind of helps get the color cue, gets the product cue in there. And then, depending on the variety, they've got milk chocolate from Venezuela, dark chocolate from Venezuela, dark chocolate from Dominican Republic, and dark chocolate from Fortunato. They have fancy designs. So, yeah, I feel like, yeah, maybe this is a little more expensive, a little nicer. Here's some ice cream bars. These are actually from Russia, but they have a sort of South Asian motif going, like India, Pakistan. Do these look like appealing products to you?
Yeah, I think so.
So, Dane,
Some of them I think more than others, but that's personal taste.
Yeah, it depends on if you like prunes or not, right? The color really pops the flavor, right? So you see the color and you can almost taste it.
Yes.
There's good photography. They use pictures of the ingredients, but they're very appealing, well sort of stylized, designed, and gives you a lot of flavor cues. So yeah, a good picture of your product. Yeah, very symmetrical. And I love doing this lecture during dinner time because we're all hungry. All right, Pepitas. I kind of like this packaging. This has a definitive look. It's very kind of fun, easygoing, cartoony, and it's not a very serious food, right? It's basically potato sticks. And so it's something that if you thought about it a lot, you probably wouldn't eat it. So the whole idea is don't think too much, be fun, be happy, be cartoony. It almost looks like Adventure Time. Anybody familiar with that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. This Firefly drink, peach drink. So they've got these sort of botanical fruit, again, very appealing imagery. I love their logo too, which is like a little bottle but with wings. Yeah, Alicia, it did look like Bob's Burgers. Yeah, it's similar kind of style. So I'm showing you these examples to give you some ideas for your own packaging as you brand them and make them appealing. they can be, you have a template to use. I kind of like these. They look like little teapots, even though they're just boxes. But you have a chance for some creativity, some differences. So I'm going to show you some more examples. Like this is a dog treats, and it's a company called Castor and Pollux, which is a terrible name for a company. But the agency came up with this backstory of sort of like a dog and a cat named Castor and Pollux, and they came up with this. And if you see, the dog shampoo is a little fire hydrant. It's kind of cute. So there's an opportunity for creativity. This same company did Converse Chuck Taylor sneakers. They were going out of business, believe it or not. And they sort of viewed it as an American treasure. And as a result, they created this packaging that made it seem like sort of like vintage wine or something. And it really sparked some interest in the product and got it back on its feet, so to speak, so that Nike ended up buying them. And so that's why we still have Chuck Taylors. But packaging can make a big impact in marketing. And these are the details, like they have this little tag. They tag the tag. This is a list, a bulleted list of key things to consider before executing design and color in a package design, which is exactly what you're doing this week. And this is from a company called Design Force Inc. I'm going to escape out of here, and I'm going to copy this link, copy it, and paste it into your chat window. So you can go look at that when you get a chance. They do packaging for every major company, Procter & Gamble, General Foods. They manufacture and design product packaging for everybody. So they kind of know what they're doing. So these are the things they say you need to know. So first one is, what does your brand stand for? Do you all know what your brand stands for? Yes. Dane was about to say yes. Because
Yes.
you've read your creative brief and you know exactly what your brand stands for. And who's your customer? You know who that is because you did your target audience page and figured that out. What about the brand color included prompts a buy response from the consumer? This is a fancy way of saying, look, what makes it appealing? Okay, different products have different things that make them appealing. When they're ice cream bars dipped in chocolate, yeah, a picture of it looks great. If it's coffee beans, maybe coffee beans aren't the picture. Maybe it's a made cup of coffee. You have to think about it. What's going to be appealing for people? When the packaging is for a global audience, what meanings are ascribed to the colors? Every culture has different meanings ascribed to their colors. We didn't go over this in detail this month, but just be aware as you search out there, if you are actually going to sell this in South Asia or you're going to sell it in South America, colors have different meanings in different cultures. For our purposes, we're sort of thinking North America, so you're pretty good with that. Can a unique color be developed to support the brand? You have a unique color, right? You have your assigned color that you're supposed to use. How does the chosen package color or color combination make the consumer feel during testing phase? Well, in the real world of marketing, they go into a mall and they get people in a room and they show them stuff and say, what do you think? I don't know if you've ever been part of that. They pay you like $50 and you sit there for hours. You don't have to do that, obviously, but you can show your designs to people who are potentially in your target audience. And what you're looking for from feedback is kind of a gut emotional response, not design advice. You don't want to, say, make the logo bigger. You want them to look at it and say, yeah, that's appealing, or no, that doesn't really interest me. You're trying to figure out what flips the switch for people. And then this last one, if a retailer shelves only a few items in the product line, you're not really worried about that because you've really got one product. But keep in mind what the shelf looks like. I've had students on campus actually print out their product, take the package to Target, sneak into Target and put it on the shelf and take a picture. So they could get it, what does it look like next to the competition? That's something you're thinking about. You've actually put together your competition page. So More examples. This is Mon Choco, which is the artisan chocolatier de Côte d'Ivoire. And they are using what I would call an illustrative pattern in the background, which is kind of an illustration that repeats. They've got this nice little bit of gold foil that makes this seem very fancy and upbeat. What do you guys think?
I like the way it looks. The lighter colors are somewhat unusual, but it's a nice pattern. Not
Yeah,
too.
the pattern's kind of playful and nice, and then there's this elegant bit of typography in gold, sort of balances it out. Yeah, it looks very artisan, Alicia said, especially here, like the gold canister. All right, here's some more chocolate. You can tell I like chocolate. This does this wonderful thing of step and repeat. So it's like there are a lot of similarities between each package, and then the difference is color. And this illustration, which looks like a cacao pod made of chocolate with a little twist, like there's a mint leaf. This is like an orange segment. Looks like a hazelnut. But the color sort of gives you the flavor cue a bit. And when you put them all together, it makes a nice little set. Yeah, very minimalist, Alicia said. Yeah, I agree. This is a fast food restaurant in Russia, and they actually they serve pizza, sushi, and burgers, which I had a student from Kazakhstan. He said this is typical. There are a lot of restaurants that do this, but it seems weird to me. This is another kind of fun illustrative pattern. The concept Mama Mafia, and you see this silhouette, simple logo, a little negative space for the hat band, the glasses instead of eyes, and you get this character, right? Right away, I think of that movie, The Goonies. Anybody seen that?
Yes.
Yeah, right. You know what I'm talking about, right, Alicia? That grandmother, the old lady. She wasn't a grandmother, but yeah, and this illustrative
She's the
pattern.
evil mom.
Yeah, the evil mom. Yes. Here's the whole setup. So you see how the patterns, and in this case, this sort of irregular illustrative pattern, can tie things together. So that's something you can rely on as you bring your items together. There's a pizza box. Because I'm from New York, I just like the pizza box with Russian writing on it. It's kind of weird. Oops, back. Here's candy, and they did an interesting thing, which is they used a photo and illustration in combination. So there's another idea for you. Like if you want to, if the picture of your product you think is appealing and would sell, you can go find any picture you want that looks like what your product sounds like, and you can also add illustration and play with it. They did this nice pattern on the sides. Here's another one, peanut brittle, little hammer, and then clotted cream, the worst name for the best thing. Really fun little playful cows and things. Okay, now we're going to play a little game called Before and After, and I'm going to show you some products that were redesigned, and I want you to tell me what they did and why. If you're able to turn on your microphone for this, it's actually better, but do what you can. All right, so first one is Ludens. Here's before on top and after. What did they do and why?
They use the color to frame the logo, so it really directs your focus. The second, the one below.
Yes. Yeah, so there's a lot more color, right? And that helps you identify the flavor. It's also a lot more eye-catching than white bags.
Yeah.
The packaging seem. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Curtis.
Yes, the packaging below seems to contain more.
Yeah.
But it's the same volume though.
It is, because they've moved the window down to the bottom. When these hang on a hook, I'm sure this drop's all scooted down and it's hard to see. The logo.
Actually,
Go ahead.
the top ones look like it's really a picture of the contents rather than the bottom ones which have the window.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Uniquely good. It's a terrible line, but it's a lot more playful logo. I think that this top one is a lot more medicinal, old school, and this is a little more like candy, which probably has to do with their competition and what happened. All right, next one. Don Julio on the left before, on the right after. What they do and why?
They changed the packaging, gave it a more, I guess you could say, mature look, whereas the old one is very, I'm not thinking of the correct words I want to use, but very country, like not country western, but like
Rustic.
in the rustic. That's a good word. Whereas the one on the right looks more city
modernized.
Yeah.
The one on the right. So the one on the right is more simplified, but it really used the red as an accent color.
Yes.
Really.
Yes. Yeah, that's good. You guys are good. This bottle is very old-fashioned. This is more contemporary.
Right. Yeah. I was going to say it's modernized with the subtle callbacks to the light shadowed country graphics.
Yeah, well, so they added this little silhouette here, which I noticed. It's kind of nice. It's like there's Don Julio, a horseback riding the agave fields, checking it out. On this one, they have this agave plant behind the text, which just creates a kind of dirty mess. Here, they put it in a little ring here, a sort of medallion-like thing, and it looks special and unique.
They changed the font too of the name.
Logo, the name, yeah. It's very similar. It has the same feeling, but it's cleaned up and the kerning's better and it's just spaced better. It's more designed.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot more white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It makes you feel better about the product. All right, here's Michael's Peanuts, before on the left, after on the right.
Well, there's an emphasis on the experience, like premium quality, deliciously salted.
There's a lot more information over here.
The one on the right.
The packaging is better suited for a premium quality peanut on the right than it is on the left. The left is more of a fun design and the right is more sophisticated.
What were you going to say, Dane?
Well, the one on the right has a more vintage feel, so I feel like it's kind of like trying to denote experience or time, like timelessness. While the other one on the left is like, I feel like that one's a more contemporary one. Like it's bringing it giving it more like a playful feel, like Peanuts at a game, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, the right one with the image that they have with the tractor on the front really helps people to call back to where the peanuts are coming from, that old country feel, that it's maybe local if they live in a country area. The one on the left, though, looks more like something you pick at the convenience store.
Yeah. You guys are hitting it. This one, I say, this is like, this one on the right is like in Whole Foods, and the one on the left is at 7-Eleven.
Yeah.
But you guys picked up on everything. The tractor, the farm experience, the quality. Yeah. So they're really giving you more information. And the visual does something that I like, which is sort of spark your imagination. It's a little bit goofy because it's gigantic peanuts, but Um, but it makes
There's
you think,
depth
oh,
in it.
you think about where they come from. And here they're like, are they from a factory? I don't know where they come from. That's good. Milk, before, after.
Which one was the before? The top?
Fourth top, yeah.
The top looks more like detergent from like soap bottles. Even with the color thing, they make me think of like liquid detergent. There's on the bottom with the bold colors with the red and pink, and gives it a little bit of a retro feel. And it does not look like detergent.
Right. Yeah, the color cues kind of throw you off up here.
Well, they were all over the place with the old design.
Yeah, there's a lack of consistency in the type and the usage of design elements, these little figures, and there's all kinds of stuff, the logo. This, just to be fair, this is all cream, and these are, skim milk, light milk, all that.
Yeah.
But still, there's something about the bottle shape and the color cues that make you think of detergent. Everyone thinks of that. It's like, I don't want that on my cornflakes.
Yeah.
No, blue top, yes.
Well, and this
But,
one, the little strawberry, again, sparks your imagination. They're not selling strawberry milk, but it's kind of like, strawberries and cream. That sounds good. All right, here's a new one. Curtis, you still got to get that smoke detector fixed.
Hey,
All
yes.
right. Lasagna, before on the left, after on the right.
The red, black, and white is more sophisticated.
For sure.
Well, see, I prefer the old-fashioned one personally.
Katie? No, that's Alicia. You like the blue.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I do. Yeah,
Okay.
it's home cooking as opposed to restaurant cooking.
Mm. To me, this blue color I associate with Kraft macaroni and cheese. Anybody else get that?
Yeah.
And Barilla.
Yeah.
Pasta.
Yeah. That's what I was
And
thinking.
so if I want mac and cheese, yeah, this is appealing. But if I want lasagna, maybe this
Well, pasta boxes are typically that color blue also.
right.
I feel like maybe the new design is just a little beyond where I would want it if it's something that's supposed to be appealing to make it home. I can understand the left going away from that because of craft products, but the right one seems so commercial looking.
Huh. Well, one thing where I think the right one sort of hits a home run is the photography of the food.
Yes. Yes, definitely.
This is school lunch, and this is Gourmet Magazine. So
Yes.
So that's something you want to think about as you're doing your product. Like, how could photography help my packaging? All right. Water here is before on the left and after. This is a close-up of the label on the right.
It reveals the source better.
You mean the source of the water?
Yes. Yes, I like mineral water.
Very clean.
The left looks very like dollar store, gas station. The one on the right looks more sophisticated, especially with the design being in the silver and the font being changed to something more sophisticated.
Yes, more sophisticated. Mm-hmm. So let me ask you, how much do you think this is per bottle on the left?
Like
Like a buck or
189.
two.
Yeah, and how much the one on the right? How much is that?
Maybe
I'd say
4,
three
3.
or four.
Yeah, so we doubled the price basically by design. And this is something I want you to understand as a graphic designer. Design adds value, either perceived or real. And in this case, maybe the water is really great water and the poor packaging meant they couldn't charge enough. But suddenly a designer comes along and adds money to the bottom line. So that's that's what design is about. It's about enhancing products and making them better, making things more value. And so this is the profession you're going into. Here's some beer, before on the left, after on the right.
Mm.
Wow. What's the difference?
The left is very minimalist. Like, what's the bare minimum on the label? Whereas on the right, they got a little bit more artsy. They use more shades of the green.
Yes.
I like the negative space they did with the logo above the
letter A.
name. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dane. You were going to say something.
I was thinking.
I'm always putting you on the spot. Sorry. What's the focal point of this one on the left? What's the thing that jumps out at you first thing?
India.
India, right. And India is not, it's part of the category name. It's not even the whole category name. It's India Pale Ale. The name is anemic. The letters are weak, and it doesn't stand out. This ribbon makes no sense. It doesn't really wrap the right thing. I don't know what this gold circle is. So now it's tight, it's designed well, and the logo is standing out, strong. India Pale Ale has the right amount of hierarchy. It's like there, you can read it very clearly, but it's not dominating like here, where it's India, which is just even part of the name. They also added a label at the top that kind of helps. So.
Well, and I also like the A, and I think Alicia was mentioning this, but like the A, it's an A, but it's also negative space, a beer bottle.
Yes.
With the middle of the A being the label.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, negative space is your best friend. Just remember that. You guys were really good on this. This is Rice-A-Roni. This is not great design, by the way. I'm using this Rice-A-Roni box as an example of all the things that you could put on a package, because Rice-A-Roni actually did everything. So I don't recommend doing everything, but there are some things that you must do. And we'll go through that on this Rice-A-Roni box. So the first thing you need to know is, where's my primary display panel? And that's the part that faces the consumer when the product's sitting on the shelf. In this case, it's this front panel here, right? When it's flat, as you're going to be working on it, you have to think about where that is. So here's the primary display panel. The key focus of the primary display panel is the logo. Your logo should be the hero of that space. It should be clear and dominant, and the other things sort of supporting it. In the case of Rice-A-Roni, they've got a descriptor line. Now, descriptor line is a great thing to add beneath your logo that tells people why your product is unique. Each one of you have a product with some unique feature. This is where you want to tell people about it in as brief amount of words as possible. In the case of Rice-A-Roni, they got two descriptor lines. So long grain and wild rice, and then tender long grain and wild rice with herbs. They're really selling you hard. Ingredients: soap, food products need to have ingredients. Coffee and tea generally don't. You could put, if it's coffee, you could put coffee beans from wherever. But you need to put that in, and preferably on the back of your box, somewhere kind of out of the way, using your info level font. The net weight must go on the front and be clearly displayed. Now, this is a principle of design that I always use. Is if I have to have something, I put that on first, because the worst is when you design this whole beautiful panel and then you realize you have to stick on the net weight at the last minute. So put that on right away. Make something up for this. I'm not giving you how much your product weighs. You can guess. The nutritional facts are important for any product that has nutrition, calories. You're going to have to go find one online and place it in as sort of a placeholder. I think I gave a resource for where you can get that in the assignment. Barcode, you all have a barcode. It goes on the bottom or the back, somewhere out of the way. directions. In the case of Rice-A-Roni, it's a two-step process. You don't have to put directions, but you could put something, a story, where it comes from. Our company is 200 years old and it's been in the family for generations. Whatever you want to do to sort of enhance the brand story, you can add that in there. So that is my lecture on package design. Any questions right off the bat that anyone has?
Yes. So with all the stuff that we've been making, does our package need to kind of tie in?
Yes.
With, well, what I'm talking about is like, for example, if we just for the examples that you showed, like we just provided a logo that was in full color, but if we wanted the logo to be, like you said, more either metallic or like a single color or black and white, but it still has the colors of our color palette.
So, yeah, I understand what you're asking. What I would say is your logo should have some consistency. In a sophisticated branding system, you might have a lot of versions of your logo. And if you have it appearing in a lot of different places, it can be consistent even with variations. But in this assignment, it's pretty limited. So if you're changing your logo pretty dramatically just for the package, I don't think that's a good idea. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I was just referring to the colors. So if I provided like a colored logo, but in my package design, it was a black logo on a package that has my color palette, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does. It does sort of make sense. I would love for you to design a logo that works on different backgrounds. Now you can put a sort of outline around it too. So I kind of have to see what you're talking about.
Okay.
If you want to do something for the midweek critique, yeah.
It sounds like he's saying something like he wants to use this one particular logo and then the background would switch depending on like the flavor of something, like the flavor of the tea or the flavor of the chocolate.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I think the overall effect should be one of seeing your color palette in all its glory somehow or another. How about that?
Yeah. I think we're, yeah.
All right, Valerie's asking, what if the product's not edible? Well, when you go into this assignment, you'll have a choice of two package designs. So you're just going to pick one to use. What is your product, Valerie, that is not edible? Is it soap or something? Yeah, oyster soap. All right. So you're going to pick one of the boxes and just imagine that it's filled with oyster soap in some way. There's a bit of creative license there, but because I'm giving you a template and it's not necessarily perfect for soap, but it gives you an opportunity to express your brand. That's what I'm looking for.
I've seen some things in the instructions hinting at building the package.
Okay, well, that is because on campus we build it physically, but in your case, you're going to do it using a smart object template in Photoshop. And this video here shows you exactly how to do that. So the design process is virtually the same because you're going to be using the template in Illustrator to build out your package. Now here's the four templates. There are two templates. There's a pitched lid side and a rectangular carrying case, and then there's the Photoshop mock-up of each. So in other words, if you use the rectangular carrying case, you're going to use this Photoshop mock-up. If you use the pitch lid tapered side, you're going to use this Photoshop mock-up. You can do one or the other, or some people do both. It's up to you, whatever you want to do.
Video.
Yes.
That video also says that it must include a photo. Is that just for that particular campus class?
So at the end, yeah, on campus, they take a picture of it. So if you complete the Photoshop mock-up, that will be your picture.
No, they were saying
for the logo design, like
That your package must include a photo on the package? Because that's not true.
okay. Well, as long as we all know, then that's fine.
Yes, you don't need to use a photo in your package. If you do, you can use a photo in your package, and it may help your product. What I want you to think about is what's going to sell this product. Some designs, some products are more sophisticated. They need a more minimalist design. You know, the kind of look and feel of it is better. Some need more of a picture.
I don't know if I'm the only one having a problem with this, but the second mock-up, the one with the tapered size, the long one.
Yes.
As I try to like my logo and everything on it, but when I put it in the mock-up, it's off center, especially like the display side. So I don't know.
Yeah. So I included
all
this video right here. Watch this. Adjusting the package mock-up. That'll show you how to sort of twist it around a little bit to get it to fit better. It's pretty simple once you watch that. I mean, this video is only a couple minutes long. I mean, probably like 5 minutes long.
Yeah, I did that and I followed that, but it still wasn't lining up correctly. Like I followed the blue. I know that like in the mock-up, you have that blue outline that lines up perfectly with whatever design that we made. It's just, I don't know why. And I've seen this problem before. I just don't know why it's doing it. But I'll try and figure it out.
Okay. Well, I don't want you to get too frustrated with that. If it's really not working, let me know. But I've seen it done successfully with these templates. So
okay.
It's more or less just sort of a finessing technically, as shown here. So.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Any other questions about this week's assignment? At the end, you're going to put together your whole presentation template and create a Spark presentation. Tell us all about your product. Do a great job. And move on to the next class. How's that?
Oh, sounds good.
All right, guys.
Plan, Stan.
What, Alicia? Was that Alicia?
No, it's Lisa.
Lisa. Oh.
I just said it's a plan, Stan.
Yes. All right. All right. So I'm going to let you go. It's a little early. As always, on Wednesday, I'll take a look at anything that's been completed so far, and I'll give you feedback. You can also just get on and ask me questions. If you, I try to be available as much as possible on Slack. What I don't want, I think it was Dane you were asking about the template. I don't want you to struggle with a technical issue for hours and hours. So if you're hitting a wall with something, reach out to me and I'll try to get with you and see if we can figure it out. All right, I'm going to end the recording.